All right. On this week's episode of the Mental Edge podcast, your hosts,
Fernando Lopez Jr.
and Jay Wakasey, get to talking about
dealing with dark days.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Ooh, yeah.
Pretty good?
Great. Yep.
You sure? You can always turn that up a little bit more. You did already, right?
Yep.
Did you?
Yes.
You're the man, dude.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah, let me see that,
This
man.
is-
Put this on. This your boy?
No, this is my sister's son, Dominic. Here, you
Yeah,
can just
I
hit
wanna see
play.
him
He's the
hitting it.
quarterback. All right.
Is junior
It's
high?
really quick. High school. Freshman.
High school, freshman.
Elkhart High School. Elkhart Lions. They combined two 5A schools to make one
Wow.
super. That was him that launched the ball. Or
Dang. Awesome.
want to know what position he played before they put him at quarterback? Because he's been playing quarterback since he was a kid.
What position?
Like right guard.
Oh my goodness.
Right guard.
Did you get his number?
So
How'd that happen? Well, because he's probably an athlete and they needed him on the line because they needed someone to block.
he was like, well, coach didn't know him. I guess it was a coach from a different spot,
Coach
different
didn't
place.
know him.
And then, even though he heard that he was the coach or that he was the quarterback in, for the other teams or whatever when he was younger, they decided that they didn't pretty much have a position for him. So he took it upon himself to want to play. I think we talked about this a little bit. And because he wanted to play, he went ahead and took any position he could. He's a smart guy, high IQ with sports. So he ended up going in as a guard or whatever. And new coach comes in and says, "Hey, why is Dom on the line?
That's hilarious.
He needs to be throwing the ball. He needs to be running the ball."
They're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know?
You don't know? Well, here you go.
You about to find out.
Yeah, they were playing They were playing near this area. I can't remember the exact team that they were playing, but anyway, the final score. Just because I know the video was cool, but the final score is like 58-8.
Jeez, oh, Pete, man.
Oh, that was amazing. Hey, coach, what play are we going to run this time?
Young man, I'm going to pretend you didn't ask me that stupid question. You know we got one play and one play only on this football team. You hack the football, and then you hand the ball to Dom, and then he runs it in the end zone, and we get 6 points. Now, run the play. Ready? On one, break.
Goodness gracious,
I'm not
young
saying
man.
he scored them all. I'm just saying,
No,
like,
he's part of it. He's a big part of it.
yeah, he's part of it, man. So
Heck yeah.
that was cool.
Dom's the man.
Yeah.
Let's see his...
And before
Elkhart, a good football area too. Like good chance when he gets into high school that.
imagine two 5A schools combining.
And 6A is the limit,
Yeah.
right? So there got to be a 6A powerhouse.
Yeah, they have to be, and probably in anything that they do. But yeah, they're really good. They got competition like Penn and
Yeah.
Sure, Mishawaka out that way and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm sure they're going to be playing some.
It's probably fun for your
good
sister to
team.
watch that too.
Oh yeah. And then what I do before I got here? Oh, before I got here, I'm still fixing up the house. And we're doing painting and mudding and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I did a lot of the basic stuff and then I had a guy reach out to me, good friend of mine, Daniel Guerra.
Yeah.
Guerra painting. Just left the house and guess what he was
The
doing?
Mental Edge, sponsored by.
He was, no, for real. He man, I
Awesome.
walked in the house and I'm like, oh, he just transformed my house with
Isn't that amazing?
With a paintbrush.
What a little
yeah.
bit of paint does.
Yeah. Well, it's magic for him because like the way he does the like, wax on, wax off the you know what I'm
That's
talking
cool,
about?
man.
I have a hole here. No, don't worry about it. I'll take care of that.
Yeah. Anyone who's ever took an ugly chick to the prom and when she came downstairs was like, dang, girl, you know the value of paint.
The Mental Edge would like to remind all the ladies who were offended by that joke that prom makeup in the 80s was basically the original Instagram filter.
Girl come down the stairs and you're like, Insta, damn!
Sorry, ladies. It's just a dude joke.
Yeah,
like you are
yeah.
peering into the locker room. Right, that's as bad as it
of
gets.
us guys. Yeah.
It's as bad as it gets here. But
But in other areas of life, it gets much worse.
yeah.
I'm talking about like in other areas, kind of like dealing with depression. That's what I meant. Yeah.
The king of the segue, bringing us right back in.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what.
Depression's rough, bro.
Yeah, especially with everything that's going on. You know, there's a lot of darkness going on in this world right now. So I figured it'd be a good topic to touch on. I think we've touched on maybe something similar.
Yes, we've definitely discussed it.
Yeah,
because we talked about COVID controls and what they do to you, and how they remove you off of your game, and you know, for the most part, for good reasons. If it's all as real as everybody says, we'll know in 10 years, I'm sure.
Yeah,
you know. But I'm glad I love what you sent. To me, and I was going through it.
Yeah.
You know, I was pretending to listen to my wife while we were eating dinner.
Okay,
but she's looking at me. What are you reading? She knows what I'm reading. Yeah. But that long text message is from Fernando, so she's cool with it.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
They're super long though, ain't it?
Yeah, no, it's because that's your medium that you use, and I like that. That's fine. Sometimes I do just upload it to my iPad and keep going like this. That's what I like, you know. But I was thinking when I was reading what you wrote, that not only are you gonna really touch on some great stuff.
Yeah.
I'm thinking this is a time of the year, guys, where when the seasons change and we push back the clock, it feels like you get up in the dark, and you go to like as soon as you come home from work, it's dark.
You know, I knew that when I sent this to you. We're not going to be able to touch on every little like thing. You know, I just put together. You know, dealing with the dark days.
Yeah.
And in this time when people have been locked up for, 9 months, and then all of a sudden we were just on our way up, we saw the news and, what was it, 30 states or,
Yeah, the numbers are rising.
A lot of states. And I feel like, there's rumors of us going back into, some type of, COVID
rolling
lockdown.
back one of the stages maybe in some states. I'm sure some states are going to roll back the stages.
Yeah, so I figured, you know what? It's kind of relative, and we're living it, and maybe what are some of the effects and some of the things that we go through it, because it's inevitable, people, that we are gonna have dark days. So, I wanted to talk about a responsible way that maybe we can, get through these things, and hopefully for some feel alive again.
And we're definitely coming out of something, Junior.
Yeah,
that would put more people in the status of coming out of some dark days or going into some dark days, because a lot of the things that keep us from the dark days, if you think about what people describe as, hey man, you need to get cheered up, go hang out with your friends, right? There's a lot of the things, and I'm sure we'll get into them a little bit deeper. But man, there's just a lot of stuff going on right now.
Yeah,
like reasons to not be hopeful.
Ooh,
to not be. To not have a lot of faith in the future.
Yeah.
If you so choose to drink that poisonous KoolAid, you could be pretty negative right now.
It's really easy to drink it because it's all around us.
Here, my friend, you look so thirsty. Drink this delicious, depressing KoolAid.
Think about it. It's not funny, but it's true.
Yeah, it's all around us.
Yeah, it's all around us. We have low moods. What you just mentioned, with even like the time of the year, daylight savings or whatever. It's dark a lot earlier. You want to get stuff done. Think about it, man. This is kind of weird. I don't even know why I'm going to say this, but banks are open, right? Or stores or anything is open like 9 to 5, and most people work 9 to 5.
I know.
Right? So the only way you can get to the bank and deposit your check after work or
to call off.
or you go on your lunch. Or, you're sacrificing all these other little things.
Give up something, right?
You
Just
give up
to cope.
something. Yeah, so there's a lot of ways that you're drinking this KoolAid of negativity, like you said, or whatever. It makes it hard. It makes for like moods to shift into like a low level. It makes you feel like things aren't going your way. It makes you think and then it doesn't help that like the images in your mind when, example, like when you're thinking
good
about
stuff you're about to talk about.
Yeah. Like my example would be like, what do you think of when I say the word coronavirus?
Right now, what do I think of? I immediately start thinking about some of the things I missed out on because of the coronavirus.
Okay.
And most of those things have, if they were things that happen every year,
Right.
they were typically beautiful.
Yeah, you're right. And that's awesome. That's awesome. But a lot of times when you say coronavirus right now, a lot of people think of like the worst cold ever.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Or think of people that have, or they think of people that are, that's going on with,
Yeah.
right? Or, people wearing masks, and you think of social distancing, people being evacuated out of, like areas, airports, and, tons of people dying, and all these graphs that they show. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I know.
by state, how many people are passing away, how many people are getting sick, and, and this is all, concerns about, getting sick. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Sometimes right now they even have like it's really hard to get your hands on alcohol, like rubbing alcohol, because people are using it to make, hand
definitely.
sanitizer.
Anything
and-
COVID related or anti-COVID related.
Yeah. And really what we feel is uncertainty about like what will happen next. And all these signs fuel anxiety, right?
Yeah. Uncertainty fuels anxiety. I could not agree more.
Yes, uncertainty, it fuels it. So those thoughts are really hard to shake, and they keep playing and playing over and over.
Why is that? Why is it when something, what is it about the human psyche?
Yeah.
Fellas, you do this. Like if your tooth hurts, why do you keep biting on that tooth? It's like you're like,
when I get a bruise,
it's
I
weird.
literally
I
keep
constantly
pushing.
keep poking it.
I don't know if I'm the
But
only
do we
guy that
not
does
like
that.
ourselves at all? I don't get it.
just-
I wonder if it's like a constant mechanism where we're checking to see if there's improvement.
That's
Like
deep.
hoping
Yeah.
that it's better, like as you bite your
That's
tooth.
deep.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but we
Hoping
do
that it goes
replay
away.
those.
Yeah.
We replay those like right now, like in your mind. When you lay down, there's no way, guys. There's no way that you don't see those people talking about how they didn't get to be with their grandma when she died because they wouldn't let them in the hospital.
Yeah.
There's no way you don't see that again.
No. Well, anxiety, for the most part, is a mechanism that's given to us for what?
Well, actually, it's part of the fight or flight. I mean,
Yep,
you
yep.
want to be worried about something if you need to take care of it.
Yes. But when
It can be your friend.
Yeah, it can be your friend, and that's what I was trying to get at. But now, when you have like an overload of it,
Yes.
it's turning into something negative.
Yeah, right.
You know
It's
what I'm
a
saying?
crippler.
It's turning into something that it wasn't
Yeah.
meant to be.
Sure.
So some of the things that I wanted to talk about in this podcast were, like things to help you overcome or
Great.
get better with those things. I came up with 4, and I know you got some stuff that you're gonna.
No, I
add
actually
in and
bounced
talk
off
about.
yours because I loved them.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Well, all right. So I guess we'll start with number 1. I put, and I was thinking about this in a different way. I tried to.
And this isn't just limited to COVID, right?
No.
Because I was just thinking before you go into these points, because they're
Yeah.
great, guys, you could be going through a divorce right now.
And this
Right?
could be something,
Yeah. COVID's a part of your life.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure the divorce is taking precedence.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Especially now, didn't we say that there was like some huge number of divorces happening because
Yeah.
of the
I believe it. And I wish we had those statistics because sometimes
Yeah.
I think people just say BS sometimes, which is bad stuff. But
those will come out though pretty soon.
they're gonna come. We're gonna
Yeah.
start seeing all these terrible things associated with isolation.
Yeah.
And I thought, like I could totally see some wife saying, and then getting ready to get a divorce, like,
Yeah.
of course I put the pillow over his face. I wanted him to be safe. I wanted him to be safe. COVID. So it doesn't have to just be COVID, but a lot of this stuff is definitely COVID is the most relevant
Yeah.
creator of anxiety right now. But let's
Correct.
keep our mind open. So number 1.
Open mind.
Numero uno.
Uno.
Limit your media.
Why?
Well, healthy anxiety is triggered by visual images and strong emotions like anxiety and fear. So, the more you sit around and watch the news or read social media, you're gonna find like some random and scary stuff.
You think?
Random and scary stuff.
Right? It's
Why
kinda-
is that, though?
Like my mom. All right, when I was younger, my mom used to say, don't touch my purse.
Right.
Never look at my purse. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going with this, but my point is that kind of carried on, and over the year, even now, like a woman will leave her purse, I'm not looking in it. I don't know what I'm going to find in there.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like one of those
Yeah.
things, So I feel like if you're looking for trouble,
Yeah.
if you're looking for something to be wrong, if you're freaked out about Corona and you start Googling and looking for this stuff, you're gonna find some really, really
my
bad
gosh.
stuff. So that's kind of why I said
Some of it's from the freaking Inquirer. Does anyone? I don't know if you guys if you're young and you're watching, you know what the Inquirer is, but
Yeah.
it was basically a fake. It was a fake tabloid.
Yeah.
That tried to scare the bejesus out of people with stuff
Yeah.
like stories about Bigfoot beating up the Bat Boy.
Leave me alone, you big hairy bully.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So some of that stuff, and you access
Now,
that,
maybe like a fake forum nowadays,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
equivalent to
yeah.
that. So,
Right, a fake forum, there you go.
or
That's
a fake
exa-
news,
It's interesting,
news
though.
website. Yeah, it is.
Those
It-
people are so
and
creative.
it grabs your attention. So I remember this funny story. My cousin, he reposted something. And it was fake, right?
Right.
And like literally, it was like instead of like saying CNN at the top.com, it was like daily.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was some weird off name.
Sure.
Yeah. And
Still looked pretty legit, though.
it looked, completely
There you
looked
go.
legit.
That's all people
so,
need.
Yep. So it had like the big headline and the crazy picture, and I was like, "Dang, really?" So I clicked on it. The first thing I always do now is I look up to see the source, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh man!" As
Sure.
soon as I saw it, like I turned it off, and then I said, "Yeah." I made a comment on there, like, check the source, right?
Sure.
His response was like, "Dude, I'm that guy."
I'm that guy.
I'm that guy.
Be that
man.
guy, no.
Yeah, he don't want to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? He's
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm sorry, I'm that.
He's like, I'm that guy
I'm
then.
that guy. I'm being that guy. Like he
Yeah.
didn't mean like he is that guy. He just
No,
like,
he was in that moment. I
in that
love it. I
moment,
love
yeah,
he's like,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
my bad, my bad.
Yeah, my bad. I was that. So yeah, you got to be careful with the source. You got to be careful what you're feeding yourself. We talk about that a lot.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
definitely, yeah.
yeah. Your mind wants to know certainty. So it wants to know facts. It wants, it wants to scroll around the internet as well. So you have to be careful with what you put in it.
Yeah, I love
you know
that
what
you're
mean?
talking about certainty.
Yeah, because uncertainty is going to build more anxiety, more fear, more of the things that are going to get you into a place where you become a recluse. Like, I'll give you an example. A good example of something like that would be like, okay, all of a sudden I'm fighting the urge, you and I talked about this, of wanting to wash my hands 20 times a day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or put hand sanitizer on
Right.
like all day, nonstop. Like,
Yeah.
you're like, this is my mouse, right? Or this is my phone, and you all of a sudden feel like you have to put hand sanitizer.
Even though you're the only one touching
Yeah,
it.
and then you got to like wipe it down, and then you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think like in that instance, one good way, fellas, to kind of maybe think about 10 people that you know, and reach out and be like, hey, how do you feel about this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I bet you.
I love where you're going.
Yeah, I bet you out of those 10 people, you might have some that feel like you, but for the most part, when you start speaking this
Yeah.
out loud and you guys start talking about each other, what do you think is gonna happen? You're gonna be like, you know what? This is a little crazy.
Yeah.
This is a
I
little-
love it because I think what you should do, and I love the way Junior's going, but when you pick those people,
Yeah.
do me a favor. Please pick some of the people who are over the top afraid initially.
Yeah.
I don't care about your opinion
That's
about
good,
whether
yeah.
that's not, but I want you to see how they've transformed. Because some of those people in my circle that were over the top are now the guys rolling their eyes the most. Like their
yeah.
transition curve
It's true though.
looks like a drop on the eagle at the Great America. They have been like, oh god,
favorite
I'm
ride.
so over it, right?
yeah.
So I'm just saying that's so good, Junior. Like, go get some perspective outside of your own, possibly hypersensitive perspective,
Right.
just to see, because hey, if you trust people, you do want to know what they think.
Yeah. I also want to bring up notifications. You should turn off your phone notifications.
Ping,
Yeah. Yeah.
ping.
Non-stop, man. I tend to not let my phones give me notifications because you
Mine are
become
turned off,
accustomed.
too.
Yeah, you become accustomed to that kind of stuff. Imagine if.
Yeah.
So now you've gone down the like Derek Crowledge would say, you go down this wormhole, which is a rabbit hole.
Yeah, rabbit hole, right.
You're down in there, and you might subscribe to something, and then not only are you looking for it,
Yeah.
but then
Man.
it's feeding you even when you don't want it.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I'm saying? So that can become, like I said earlier, with imagery and things of that nature, if it's feeding your mind, it's you're gonna that's what you're eating. That's what you're gonna turn into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah,
And we've given people nonstop access to us guys, and I know it's an advantage for you most of the time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, now the sales world has this ability to tap into you and they watch what you do.
Yeah.
There's no secret, guys.
Yeah.
It's why, like, if Junior and I were talking about guitars, if I opened up Facebook, guess what would be there? An advertisement for a guitar. So believe me, I do believe if we're talking about Corona, the highlight, guys, nobody clicks the Corona story that says, hey, it's really not as bad as we thought.
Yeah.
Everyone clicks the story that says 245,000 Chinese people just died last week.
Yeah.
That's the one people click.
Yeah.
Why is it, Junior, that we're cammed to be attracted to the scary and to embrace the negative?
Yeah. Good
What
question.
is it? I mean, it's how we work, guys, because we know that because that's where we send our money.
That's true.
So we tell them what we like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Get a hold of those people that you trust and that you know. Turn off notifications. That was number 2, right? We're in number 2 right now.
No, that was
That's
still part
number
of
1.
one.
Still part of number 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 would be
Dos.
stick to a routine. You probably don't think about it too much, but changing your routine can bring uncertainty. All right. So if you remember we talk about certain versus uncertain during this time, and you really want certainty, even though like our mind craves like some of this negative energy and some of these things that that we were talking about a little while earlier. Like your mind also wants to be certain about certain.
Yes, I think that's why people thrive on schedules.
Yes, yeah, you're right, correct. Yeah, we talked about that in a couple.
And that because that's
episodes ago.
certainty, right?
Yeah, that's certainty, right? And with a lot of uncertain things going on right now,
Right.
that tends to scare people. That tends to like throw you off.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people do you think tuned in last night for the debate?
I think a lot of people did.
A lot of people tuned in, right?
Yeah.
Some were expecting to see what they saw before.
They were.
And then some wanted to see something different, and and then you got a bunch of variables in between. But
Sure.
But they were looking for certainty. They were looking for certainty in their lives. So if you are trying to deal with like these dark times, sticking to a routine is very important. We talked about that a few episodes ago.
Isn't that funny? You know what, Junior? And please don't lose your train of thought. But here's what you just spelled out that I just had a little bing epiphany.
Right.
Right? Was that we might crave the bad news.
Right.
That's kind of like we crave a donut.
Yeah.
But the stuff that feeds our soul
Right.
and provides us real hope is the good news.
Yeah.
And that's like eating broccoli.
Yeah.
So
Eating your
but-
veggies.
But for whatever reason, guys, you're attracted to you're attracted to the damn donut.
Yeah.
Right?
The garbage.
You're right?
Yeah.
But the good stuff is there too. Like you just
Yeah.
you're just not attracted to it.
Yeah.
I was attracted to fast women. It is what it is. Think about it though. I mean, that's the analogy of so many things in our life that we can embrace, for quick pleasure.
Yeah. Even
Right.
like we were talking to your son before we came on, and he's changing his
everything.
his eating habits, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's transforming him.
Yeah, it makes a difference, right?
Right.
You feel healthier. Like even yourself. Like I know that you cut out sugar for a while.
Yeah, I did.
Are you still doing it?
No, I mean,
Okay, but when you did, what
yeah.
what were some of the outcomes that you felt like?
I was super energetic.
There's a lot going on. You had a little bit, not too, but you didn't.
Yeah,
go crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm never guys. Once again, we're about balance.
Yep.
We talked about a schedule just now. Junior just said, "Hey, you have to have your schedule," but there's no way you could adhere 100% to your schedule. We also always talked about flexibility equals flexibility.
Yeah.
So, did you find a creative way to still do the things you love that make you you?
Yeah.
Right? That's what this podcast is about.
Yep.
Being the answer as often as you can. So I love that, man.
Yeah. So I'll move on to number 3, which is
Tres.
anticipate drama.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, bad things gonna happen?
Yeah. Disappointment is sometimes not anticipating most things in advance. Okay. So my example is thinking that you're gonna do like this big upgrade to your house during like the COVID, while we were all trapped inside. But the whole time you sat around like eating donuts and
Watching Netflix.
watching Netflix.
Yeah.
The projects didn't get done, and guess what? You were a little disappointed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We talked about last week. I think we said like starting is important when you're doing stuff.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Just that, yeah.
Just
It's a hard start,
take it-
baby.
Yeah. So starting is important, and you have to anticipate certain problems that might happen during like for what you're going to do. So example, all right, so I want to get this done. I'm going to start.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's good to think about, all right, well, what if I get sick during this time? Like, it's the COVID.
Yeah.
What if I
How am I
going to
deal with that?
How am I going to deal with that during, so that
Mm.
you have like these expectations that make sense. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So you're not just not just like flying off the hip. So, or I don't know. There's a couple of different things that could happen while you're, in that
Yeah,
zone.
you should run out of money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or shortage of wood, like wood supply.
Well, my buddy he
said the same thing.
Junior,
Go ahead.
Dave Waddell. He's a listener. He's
right,
an avid listener, which he does because he loves us, right? Because
Right.
he's a good man and he loves
Right.
us. But it's taken him about a month just to replace the deck boards on his deck because he has to go online to see how many are available at each.
Oh, man.
And then run over there and get some as fast as you can.
At different
'cause
locations?
Guess what happens when things are in limited supply?
Yeah.
You can't just say, "Oh yeah, I'm coming to get them."
Hey, thank you for calling the Home Depot. How can I help you?
I was wondering if I could get some of them deck boards on hold.
That's really funny, sir. There are no more deck boards because there are no more trees.
They're like, "You better get here."
Yeah.
Because a dude just backed up in a Honda Odyssey and he's thrown in the back of his minivan. Right? You might have
that's
to,
awesome.
you might have to pull him over on Route 30 and hijack him.
Yeah.
So yeah, Junior, I mean, just think about that. Like, you're trying to get these things done. You had this plan,
Yeah.
but you didn't think about all the little obstacles
Yeah.
that could get in the way. And if they're legit, it's cool.
Yeah.
Don't make the excuse, "Hey, I hit the snooze button because I was tired." That ain't legit.
Yeah.
But hey, there ain't no wood and the trees are gone. That's legit.
That's legit. And so, but not anticipating that things are going to change or
Yeah,
or happen.
not expecting
that
road bumps.
Yes, that will
Yeah.
sometimes make you feel bad,
Absolutely, Junior.
make you feel down,
Yeah.
low in mood, anxiety creeps in,
right.
fear creeps
I
in.
thought you were
never
gonna get
yeah.
I thought you were gonna get that closet done.
Done. Yeah.
And
sometimes that kind of stuff doesn't help either. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's another
your support
factor.
system.
Yeah,
like,
your support system.
When you're
right.
having your family meetings and you're
Yeah.
talking about this stuff,
Yeah. So I went to high school with a kid, and we both know him. And in high school, it probably didn't seem like he was going to really like excel.
Sure.
He was into some stuff, and I don't know. It just seemed like it. I'm not
Yeah.
judging him. I'm just saying, he just. I don't know. Maybe there's a saying like not
He
the
was-
sharpest crayon in the box or whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
There's like a couple different things.
He was
right?
most likely to chill.
To chill.
Yeah,
right,
cool, right?
So
No-
I don't know. Great kid. Fast forward 30 years,
Yeah.
and I ran into this kid.
Oh, I
right?
can't wait to hear this.
Okay, so this guy is, by all intents and purposes, super like successful.
Got his crap together.
Yes.
Wow.
And I'm looking at him like, okay, but he's still the same guy.
Yeah.
Like there's something different.
Right.
And you talked about support system. That's where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, like a gorgeous woman walks
Yeah.
into line of sight, and she's like, "Honey," and gives him this big hug and a kiss. And then the way she talks about this guy
Right.
was amazing.
Man.
Like
How awesome is
this
that for him?
guy would run through a brick wall for her.
And he probably earned it.
But this is what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. So he, I am totally speculating here. If
Mm-hmm.
you have a woman or a support system that does the opposite of that,
Yeah.
okay, the likeliness of getting that porch or bathroom or rehab done,
Yeah.
right. But then if your support system comes through and says, "Man, this guy's amazing," you got to
Yeah.
see all the stuff that he can do.
This
You
works,
get-
ladies.
So
works.
fellas know this works, right? So
It works.
Yeah, this support system, and it's genuine. Like
yeah.
she did not seem like she was. And this guy is like, she's talking, and when I first saw him, he was about 5'7", but like I'm listening to her talk, and then I look over at him, and he grew.
He swole.
I'm looking at his chest now, like he had to be like 5'11".
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but you get it, man. Like
Yeah.
it's, I'm exaggerating this,
Sure.
but I'm like,
You
I
want your
could
4
tell.
inches where it counts.
Yeah, not in your chest. All right, but yeah, so that was
Man, it's a good story, man. Like that,
The
he
support
had a
system
good
does
support
help.
system.
Yeah.
Like he had a
Yeah.
great foundation. Like,
Yes,
and
yes.
she's breathing life into him. She knows it.
Yep.
She knows how it works.
Yeah.
Right?
So in her anticipation for drama, she decided to do, or the support system decided to do something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Awesome,
okay,
man.
this might not work, but you know, sometimes you find like that magic,
Yeah.
the magic fairy dust or whatever you want to call it.
And what's his job? Do the same freaking thing for
yeah,
her.
Yeah.
Lift her
yeah.
up.
Lift her
That's
up.
right.
Yeah. Oh, well, the way he looked at her, you could tell.
Yeah.
Was,
He's
you
in
know,
love.
Yeah, he was in love. Yeah. And all right, so which leads me to the next point 4.
4.
Delay response. So many times something difficult happens in our lives. Example, we don't get the response that we thought we were going to get, and all of a sudden, this becomes the end of the world.
Yeah.
Okay. So we anticipate, like, all of a sudden, we're in anticipation of like total like destruction. Like, you know, the second one thing goes wrong, right? You get that?
Yeah, dude.
All right. I'll reread it real quick though, just because I said delayed response. Many times something difficult happens in our lives. We don't get the response that we thought we were going to get, and all of a sudden, this becomes the end of the world. We anticipate total destruction the second things go wrong. Or
Yeah.
don't
The
go
second
way we
it
want.
doesn't fit,
Yeah.
like kind of what you've been imagining was going to
Yeah.
happen.
Right.
You know, it's funny because you will project an outcome, and I'm all about Junior about like not fantasizing. The word is visualizing
Okay.
a good outcome. I tell my kids, like, when you're at the plate,
Right.
visualize you stroking the ball, getting a double all the time.
Yeah.
But do they get a double all the time? No.
Yeah.
Do I feel like their percentage is higher to get the double if they visualize themselves successfully?
Yeah.
Yes. But the bottom line is it doesn't always end the way you think it's going to end. And what are you supposed to do about that?
What the response?
If it doesn't end, like, how do you deal with that?
a couple different ways. So, like, one, the way I was talking about earlier would be like we have to learn how to delay the time between the stimulus and the response.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
So trust me, I know it's easier to go with like the quick response, right?
Yeah.
So I had a guy that came to the studio recently, right? And he ordered a graphic. He ordered something that he wanted done. He puts money down.
Yeah.
Okay. Not enough to cover the whole job, but like he
Sure.
puts some money down, and then he disappears for a month.
Okay.
Right? So he comes back a month later and he says, hey, sorry, I haven't been feeling good. And he's kind of like whining while he's talking. So it sounds like he's still hurting.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, are you all right? He's like, yeah, I'm just not feeling too good. I'm going to drop my truck off today so you can finish it. Now, it's about a 2-day job.
Right.
But he's expecting, after a month of not communicating with me, he wants to get it done like right now.
Wow.
And I'm thinking to myself, oh, this ain't gonna work.
Yeah,
I said,
things.
I said, yeah,
Things are now in front of you.
yeah. I said, well, but we can schedule it for Saturday. So he says, yeah, sure. We'll do it Saturday, but I'm gonna drop it off right now. Okay.
Okay.
3 days ahead of time. I'm going to drop it off right now. So, I'm not feeling good. I don't need the vehicle. So don't worry about it. You can put your graphics on it, whatever. So that was that morning around 8 in the morning. Around 11:30, his wife calls and says, hey, I'm going to go pick up the truck. My husband said it's done. I'm like, what? Yeah, there was something funny going on, some weird stuff going on.
Yeah, some weird stuff going on. Some mixed communication.
Yeah. I said, I talked to your husband. We got it scheduled for Saturday. Oh, you did? Okay, let me call him. So anyway, this kind of back and forth thing happened a couple times. They still weren't on the page, on each other's page. I'm not sure what was going on. So this turns into a situation where they ask if they can come pick up the truck and just bring it back Saturday.
Okay.
For the install. I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. Come
Yeah,
through.
sure.
Yep. So they come pick up the keys. A few minutes later, Derek comes in and he's like, hey, what's with the truck outside? It's kind of a cool looking truck. It's called a Dodge Ram Rebel.
No, yeah, those are nice.
You seen them? Yeah.
Yeah.
Jet black, black on black on black. It was crazy.
Yeah, cool.
So he goes, the temporary tags are like expired on that thing. I'm like, So I run out there and I look, and they're expired by like 3 months.
I need you to paint my stolen truck.
I'm thinking to
I
myself,
need you to wrap
man.
it.
I go, besides that though, she came to pick up the truck, so I'm not sure why the truck wasn't there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So at that moment I come back inside, I sit at my desk and I have an alert that says someone just left you a review.
What?
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. So I click and it's that guy.
Oh my gosh.
18 minutes ago,
Junior.
he left me a review, and it was a 1-star review.
What?
Yeah, I wanted to explode. I wanted to eat the screen.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, of course, I called him back.
Yeah.
He don't answer, and I'm left to like what to do. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
I think like that's what I mean. Like you have to delay response. Sometimes you have to like really think through. Right. So I
Yeah.
had to wait. I took some time, and I'm like, because at the moment, if
Man,
that guy would have
dude.
showed up, it wouldn't have been good.
Like live, eat, and breathe by what
Yeah.
the opinion is of your
Yeah.
work, and
Yeah.
it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's
and it was hard to hear, but it was harder because there was not a lot of truth there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the review was really bad, and I thought to myself, "Dang, you know." But I got like 54 other ones that say opposite.
right.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it's like, but it sucks because, you know, I think my pride was hurt. I
Yeah.
think like there was a
Yeah.
couple little things that, you know, it taught me a little bit about myself too. And
Yeah.
that's why I put like,
So was that? Let me ask you a question. In that analogy,
yeah.
were you the person it didn't turn out for the way you thought it would, or was he the guy that, or were you both kind of?
We were both because
Yeah.
one, I responded out of like a little bit of anger, but then but you want to know how God works in these situations, man.
Yeah, tell me about
when
it.
When I hit send to respond,
Yeah.
the computer didn't take and it like erased everything.
This
And I was just
is
like,
divine right there. Like,
then
you're
I was like,
okay.
all right, so now no, check this out. So I'm like,
How
oh,
amazing.
no way. I'm not letting it go. He ain't getting away with it that easy. So I respond again. But the second time wasn't as harsh as the first time.
Why?
Because time had passed.
Because guys,
Yeah. And God was
This
working
is
through
such
it. Yeah.
a good
And this is
concept,
why
Junior.
this is why I'm
You know,
I'm putting it on here.
there's an analogy I have for
delayed
time.
response. Go ahead, talk to me.
And okay, so time dilutes things, guys.
yeah.
It's why when you're young, things seem so impossible to deal with.
Yeah.
But when you are older and you've lived through life,
Yeah.
things seem less. The word I'm looking for is like the world ending for you, you know?
Exactly what we're talking about. Yes.
But what's crazy is I always think about KoolAid.
Okay.
Hey, KoolAid, I love the way you've been so good to me when you bust through that wall.
Hey, KoolAid!
I remember that guy.
Yeah, we're
Comes
just gonna be a
busting
graphic.
through the
Hey,
wall.
KoolAid's coming right now, right? He's gonna be bouncing between me and
Yeah.
Junior. Here's the thing: like when I was a kid, because we were poor,
Okay.
right? KoolAid was a big deal, right? Because we always had sugar.
There's always
Right?
a plethora of sugar.
Yeah, kid, 'cause poor
no
kids have
money,
sugar.
tons of sugar.
Sugar,
Yeah.
government cheese, eggs, and Jiffy cornbread. Talk, man.
I love that cornbread.
Dude, I'm
That's like
telling you
my
right now.
favorite Jiffy cornbread. Just talking about it is like ratatouille for me, man.
Yeah, man. We put some icing on that crap. It was
Yeah.
so good. So here's the thing. What
try
we would
that
do is, right, when we would make the KoolAid, the right way to make the KoolAid, if you wanted it to be perfect and you wanted to get it perfect, what you do is you put the sugar in, you put the KoolAid powder in, and then you put warm water in at the bottom.
Right.
And you mix it up. You know what I'm making? It's called a concentrate.
Okay.
You guys know what a concentrate is?
right.
It's a highly potent dose of what is now going to be diluted with more water to perfection. All of the sugar will be melted. There won't be any like stirring it for a half hour, hoping the sugar, and then it changes over time. See, what I did was I took this concentrate, and now when I add water, and water in this analogy is time.
Okay.
To make it perfect, I take away the power. I couldn't drink that concentrate, right? I couldn't drink it. It'd be disgusting.
Yeah, right.
As much as as a poor kid, we like sugar because it was like our
Right,
only
right,
enjoyment
right.
in life, right?
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, when you add time to things,
Yeah.
like Junior's talking about the delayed response, even 15 minutes made a difference for him.
Yeah.
And like a lot of times I tell my kids that when you grow up, you become an outfielder. And we've talked about this a little
Yes,
bit.
yes.
Infielders charge the ball.
Yep.
Right? They're aggressive. They react immediately. But later on in life, you figure out that the right way to play the field when you grow up is like an outfielder. The ball is hit, you take a step back
Yes.
because you're in evaluation mode.
Then you respond.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's all these things right now. I love it what you're bringing up. You're like the way their mind is working right now. Think about it, guys. You thought everyone in the world was going to be dead 6 months ago, and you looking, feeling, smelling, sounding, listening to something great right now.
Yeah, it's true.
Right? Because time has
Yeah.
expired.
Yeah, that's
You
happening.
know, transpired.
Right? So to put it into the story, Jay,
Yeah.
it happened like 3 more times. So every time I wrote this, first it was like a couple paragraphs.
Can you
It
see?
was brutal because I didn't want to
Can you
give up,
see my
Jay.
eyes? You
because
can't
I
hear
didn't
my
want to, because I didn't want to give up, Jay. I was so livid, right? So then the second time it was like, I was like, holy cow. So the second time was like 3 paragraphs, 2 paragraphs.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, at the end, I just like, what did I put on there? I put like, beware of wolves
So let me-
in sheep's clothing.
Bro, you mean you tried to write something 2 or 3 more times?
Yeah.
Man, dude.
I was being stubborn.
You were being stubborn and you were being protected. Like because your character, like in the moment. We talked about this before,
Yes,
like,
yes.
you're
And
passionate.
I'm
but-
not usually like that. So it was a little bit out of character for me. And, and I feel like as I'm getting older, sometimes I feel like,
Wow.
like truth it should be the most important, right?
Yeah.
And certainty and
Truth should be the most important. Like,
right, yeah. And certainty sometimes isn't, like, it is not truth, right? So,
That's right.
So like, even though you might
There you
think
go.
it's certain, right?
Yeah.
I had the down payment, like I wrote some really mean stuff. I'm glad that that they didn't go through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm actually at the end of it because I know people know like the type of work I do and who I am, and I shouldn't let like short-minded individual people that
Change who you are,
change
Junior.
who I am. You know
Even
what I
for a
mean?
minute.
Even for a minute.
That's so good, man.
Yeah. So it took a little bit of time, but so some things you can do is we have to learn how to delay that time between, when it happens and the
And
response.
the way you respond, right?
Yep.
Because in the middle of anxiety,
Yep.
you could respond in a way that is not a good representation of yourself.
No. And instead, we should what we should do is ask ourselves, are these thoughts and emotions that I'm having helping me cope with the situation? Are they helping me move through the situation? And, what kind of role model am I being?
Yeah. Is this crap really valuable? What's rolling through my mind?
Is it?
Is it like you're self-assessing like
Yeah.
what
Oh,
my
yeah,
thoughts
yeah, you're right.
Are my thoughts
Yeah.
is this good for me to think
Yeah.
like this? Because I'm doubting, guys. I'm
It
doubting
wasn't.
that
It
is.
wasn't because I tell you what, if that guy would have showed up, I was so
I know.
upset that it wouldn't have turned out good. And I'm glad, like at the end,
Yeah.
I didn't even care. Yeah, come pick up your car, man, before I close my doors.
Yeah.
I just don't want to hear anymore because your license plates are expired by 3 months, and I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're up to. Plus, there was like a dinger. Like that car was like immaculate when I seen it. Now it looked like it was kind of like messed up. And
Yeah.
I didn't. So,
There's some sketchy stuff going on there.
Yeah.
But you can't control somebody leaving a review like that. And the review system is, imagine if Junior was a bad businessman.
Yeah.
So they're not going to ever be able to control reviews because reviews are in the power of the people.
Yeah.
Right? But you
Yes.
got to consider the source sometimes when people are talking about you guys.
I've come across like amazing, people that do amazing work, and they got like 4.5. But then I look, and it's like 2,000 reviews.
Wow.
Like a 4.5 out of 2,000. That's
Dude,
a really,
holy.
really good. Yeah. So then I look at like some of those bad ones.
Yeah.
The good ones far outweigh the bad ones, and then some of the bad ones is just like some joker that wanted to, just give the guy a bad review
Yeah.
for what. I
Some
don't
people,
know.
man, you ever
Maybe he
gone
saw
out to
me. He's
eat?
like, I can't believe he has such a pretty girlfriend. I'm giving him a
Yeah.
2. Never even did business with you.
Yeah. Do you ever go out to eat with somebody and like they complain about everything and you're like, oh yeah, we never going out to eat again together because you were just mean to the waitress because of where they sat us.
Yeah.
I'm like, what else do you have to? I mean,
Right.
the place is packed,
Right.
and you don't want to sit up against the wall. I don't. So you can't control people all the time, but
Right.
but you can control how you respond to anxiety.
Yeah. So those were my 4, but I had the bonus one I had on here was like loneliness, right?
Yeah.
And how I like one way to combat loneliness, especially if you're like in the house with your family.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times, like in this situation here in America, we have like a lot of family, or people that are living together or
sure.
things of that nature. I think one of the really good ways is to like get to know each other. You know, get to know the people in your house. They got games now where you can like ask each other questions. There's a lot of stuff out there that you can, you know, learn about whoever you're with.
You can
know?
purpose away loneliness, can't you?
Yes, you can purpose away.
Yeah, you can be
loneliness.
purposeful.
Mm-hmm.
And,
So that's kind of like,
man, it's crazy, guys. Some of us, we've been in that mode where you almost got to break the ice in your own house.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. Just because we've disconnected, right, and we've isolated, ourselves.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's not good. So if you see those patterns, if you see that type of stuff happening in your life, if you find yourself going for the bad instead of the good, if you find yourself, you know, leaving doing, you know, negative comment instead of like purposely leaving kindness or being kind, or, you know what I mean? Those are the true wins, because at the end, when you're gone, right, and people are thinking of you, they have a memory of Jay, or a memory of Fernando, a memory of anybody listening out here. A memory means like to put together, right?
That's right.
So when they put together the thought of Jay, or put together the thought, they're purposely doing that in their mind,
Right, as a puzzle,
right? And imagine if they're like, man, that guy was, and they remember all these amazing things that. You know, or it could be the opposite, right? So I mean, I guess it's up to you, but you know, and it doesn't really. Maybe it doesn't matter, but like I think like legacy matters to me. So I think
it matters to me.
Yeah.
So much so that you named one of your daughter's legacy. What? This guy, right? Who doesn't love this guy?
Yeah, so.
Hey, my name has been Jay Wakasey.
I'm Fernando Lopez Jr.
And this is
the Mental Edge podcast.
We out.
Well, all right. That'll just about wrap it up. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Mental Edge podcast. Your host, Fernando Lopez Jr.
Oh, he's so handsome.
And his trusty sidekick, Jay Wakasey.
Hey, that's me.
Seriously appreciate you spending time with us tonight. Remember, if you like this content, the most flattering thing you can do is like and share.